Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about the Great Reset. It's Sunday. I like to change things up. I like to wake people up. A lot of you are already going to be typing out, how can you say it's a great world after you showed this in your video? It's because I'm not 100% sold yet that the Great Reset is going to happen. A lot of people are resisting it. A lot of states here in the U.S. are fighting it back right now against CBDCs. Who knows if CBDCs are going to be a full success in the future? I know this. I'm going to continue holding my XRP, and I'm going to enrich myself for the future no matter what. I suggest you do the same. But you know, it is a great world. It's how you look at it. If you could change your situation and make it better, then that's great for you. And you know, I like to always stay optimistic and positive, and I try to keep you all positive at the same time. But some things you need to hear. You need to hear the truth. You need to hear about the plans these evil people have in store for you. Because this way you're ready for it. You could fight back against it while you still have time. So let's take a look at today's video. We have to prepare for a more angry world. Take a listen.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the gray economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see.
You see how he said not counted for, people not counted for. He's talking about people coming into countries illegally and having global citizenship in the future. Let's continue.
Definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increased by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So we have to prepare for a more angry world.
How many of you are already angry? Well, you're not alone. Anger is building across the world. Look at the protests going on overseas. I'm honestly surprised we don't see more protests here in the U.S. So this trend to overlook the fact that both groups are rooted in wanting to expand control. The truth is that the angst and growing anger many people feel is kept under control by a mass media with a very strong agenda. Mass media has perfected the art of dividing us and at the same time keeping us in the dark. The greatest risk we face may be that artificial intelligence is coming at us fast and furious. Once it's here, getting information will become almost impossible. So a lot of people feel that AI, and through AI, they could keep us in the dark of events going on throughout the world. Right now, we're in the division stage. We have Fox News and CNN dividing this country like never before. And you know, I hear from people all the time when they're talking, I can't believe this is going on right now. How can you not believe it? It's all part of the plan. Everything you see happening is man-made crisis. It's not something that just popped up out of nowhere. The middle class is being systematically destroyed. I can tell you right now, they want to crush the middle class completely. If you wanted to destroy the middle class, one way you could accomplish that goal would be to flood the system with money. Of course, that is precisely what we have witnessed over the past few years. Our leaders have pumped trillions of new dollars into the system, and the wealthy have gotten much wealthier. But meanwhile, the rest of us have seen the cost of living rise much faster than our paychecks have. As a result, we are getting poorer and the middle class is shrinking. You know, we see people working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And I don't think that's a good thing. You know, sometimes people need to be home and raise their children, give them the values they were taught growing up. And I feel that there's a dark agenda to all of it. You know, if you keep crushing people over and over again, they give up. That's why we see bankruptcies on the rise right now in this country. Because people are like, I'm not paying the credit cards no more. I had enough. I can't do it. That's when people decide to no longer fight back. They just accept what's coming. And I believe that's all part of the plan. JP Morgan is abruptly freezing customers' bank accounts and discriminating against clients without warning, law enforcement officials in 19 states say. So it is clear that JP Morgan and Chase has persistently discriminated against certain customers due to their religious or political affiliation. This discrimination is unacceptable. Chase must stop such behavior and align its business practices with the anti-discrimination policies that Chase proclaims. So if you have a certain religious belief, JP Morgan, they just shut your money off. Kind of like what's coming in the future, or they just throw your account out. They force you to close your account at their bank. But what option are you going to have in the future when JP Morgan is one of the only banks left? Because we are witnessing a bank consolidation right now happening. And again, that's tied directly to the World Economic Forum as well. But take a listen to what Janet Yellen has to say.
Start with some of the banking issues we're dealing with on it. Will the deposits in every community bank in Oklahoma, regardless of their size, be fully insured now? Are they fully recovered? Every bank, every community bank in Oklahoma, regardless of the size of the deposit, will they get the same treatment that SVBP just got or Signature Bank just got?
A bank only gets that treatment if a majority of the FDIC board, a supermajority of the Fed board, and I, in consultation with the president, determine that the failure to protect uninsured depositors would create systemic risk and significant economic and financial consequences.
So what is your plan?
We made that determination.
Right. So what is your plan to keep large depositors from moving their funds out of community banks into the big banks? We have seen the mergers of banks over the past decade. I'm concerned you're about to accelerate that by encouraging anyone who has a large deposit in a community bank to say, we're not going to make you whole, but if you go to one of our preferred banks, we will make you whole at that point.
Do you see what's going on? They're creating a situation where you pull out of this bank and get on board with the bigger bank, so your money's insured. It's all happening by design. I said it in multiple videos. Janet Yellen is not working for the American people. She's working for the big bankers. And she's on board with the Great Reset. She's also pushing for a rollout of a CBDC. But it goes beyond just the banking crisis. It also goes into the food supply as well. Take a listen.
History is truly at a turning point. Global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. The profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses.
Take notice how he keeps saying the word globally, because it's one world order, one world religion, one world government. That's what they're pushing us into. And he talks about the supply chain and the food systems and the energy systems, because those are the points that they're attacking right now. Look at what they're doing around energy. They're driving up energy prices like never before in the name of climate change. But the food system is definitely something I want to talk about, because right now John Kerry is declaring war on U.S. farmers, government farm confiscations not off the table. So he wants to come and claim farmers' land in the name of climate change. And you know, if you don't have farms, you don't have food. But what's going to be their solution then? Eating the bugs? Or are they going to create some sort of mass processed food in some factory somewhere that's not healthy for anyone? This is where we're headed. And we need to fight back against this. You know, I said it before, you have to learn how to grow your own food in the future. If not, you're going to be eating whatever they force feed you. But people still don't understand this, and they think it's all conspiracy theory. But with no farms, you have no food. Then there's this. So stop the invasion of our nation. With over 15 million illegals here today and more crossing over every day, the Democrats are getting their way. There will be tens of millions of illegals voting in 2024 like never before, and right in front of our eyes, we're losing our greatest prize, the United States. Secure our borders today. He's never going to secure the borders because it goes along with the Great Reset. It's all by design. And, people can complain all they want, but you need to do something about it. You need to stand up because people are starting to wake up now. People are no longer asleep to this. Once they see their job getting taken away, or all of a sudden there's no money for the homeless population because we're putting illegal immigrants up in five-star hotels. That is not right, and it should never happen inside this country. But again, when you're on board with the World Economic Forum, you see the plan playing out perfectly. Now, this 12-year-old girl destroys the concept of 15-minute cities. So if a 12-year-old can figure this out, how can people still be asleep to what's coming? How can they not see it happening? And what she did here, it's absolutely incredible. You got to hear this.
I could stand here and say more or less what other people are going to say about the effect of these 15-minute neighbourhoods, soon to become digital ID facial recognition zones. Let's say my friend lives in Zone 3 and I'm in Zone 1. If, for example, I went to my friend's house in Zone 3, my parents normally come and pick me up in their car. It only takes 10 minutes. So does that mean that they would have to go round the ring road and back into town again? If my mum or dad had to drive round the ring road, it would take 30 minutes, causing much more pollution and leaving a much bigger carbon footprint. They will say, you can walk home. Would that be safe for me to walk home? Me as a 12-year-old walking home in the dark alone. Is that really going to be safe? Then they will say, oh, don't worry about that. We've already thought of that. You'll be safe. We will have 1,000 cameras on the streets following you and tracking you all the way home. Oh, just remember, it's for your safety. What? Are you serious? Do you really think I want to be watched every second of the day? Are you serious? Thousands of cameras tracking my every move until I get home. At this point, I have to ask, is my safety that important to me that I want to be followed by cameras all the way home? Or do I prefer to have freedom than privacy? For your information, I still wouldn't feel safe. No amount of cameras is going to stop someone who wants to attack me. I want to be safe, but not to the extent that I am prepared to give up my freedom and my privacy to have it. As a 12-year-old, I am really concerned about my future. And to Klaus Schwab, I say this. How dare you!
I thought that was great. So if she could figure out exactly how they're going to watch every single move we make in the future, how can other people not see it coming? Digital IDs are going to be one of the scariest things that are going to come in the future because it's going to be tracked to every portion of your life, your healthcare, your job, your money. If you go and buy something, all of a sudden you have to buy carbon credits to offset the gas you're going to put in your car in the future. And I don't like the idea of carbon credits at all. And I know why these crypto companies and these crypto firms are out there going big on that. It's because there's a lot of money tied into it. People always said to me, how can you invest in XRP knowing it's tied to the World Economic Forum? Well, how do you go and use your iPhone every single month, which Apple's also tied to the World Economic Forum? But there's a difference between XRP and an iPhone. XRP can set you financially free, and it gives you freedom in the future. Maybe you could avoid a CBDC. Nobody knows what the future holds around this, but it's important to know what's coming. And 15-minute cities are tied to crypto like never before. Internet of Things, micropayments happening, fines. Think about all the fines people are going to get because they're not going to like anything that people are saying on the street. They'll be deducting money out of people's wallets left and right. But, it's one big slavery system. And it's designed by a bunch of globalists who are way up there in age. They're never going to live under this system. They'll be long gone, and we'll be left with a society that nobody wants. So crypto is here to stay despite terrible 2022, World Economic Forum says. Now, they say perhaps 2022 marks a handover of crypto technology and blockchain infrastructure to steadier hands. The embrace of crypto technology is equally inevitable. Even if the terms feel like a bad word, for all its faults, this technology remains a protagonist in the global financial world. It's because they love it, because it ties in and makes things faster. It's the technology of the future. Once AI and crypto merge together, it is going to be absolutely incredible technology in the right hands. In evil hands, you can destroy this world very quick. You can destroy the lives of people very quick. But if AI and crypto got into the right hands, people that want to do good in the world, could you imagine the world we would have in the future? Now I'm going to play a video where they talk about the Great Awakening and the Great Resist.
One good thing to know is it's not going to happen, because on the way to the Great Reset, something really went wrong. We, the people, woke up worldwide. The Great Reset became the Great Awakening. There is an alliance of people around this world that will not tolerate this small group of evil demons to replace God on this planet. We have unalienable rights that they will never take away. And they will never, ever separate us from our countries, and they will not cede our sovereignty, because God wins here. And I tell you all, keep the faith. There will be justice. There will be freedom for all forever, and they will pay.
I thought that was absolutely incredible, and I had to share it with all of you because a great resist is happening throughout this world. Look at all the marches happening over in France right now. You know, they're trying to steal people's land over there. Even Jamie Dimon, you heard him say how he wants us to give up our private property in the name of climate change while he keeps his property. They feel they're above us, that they're better than us. Why? Because they have money? And we should have taken the power away from these people a long time ago. But instead, our government handed that power over like it was nothing in the name of money. But in the end, I think the Great Reset may not happen after all. And you know, on this channel, I try to cover this as much as I can because I feel people need to see what's really going on. You know, we have 15-minute cities that are already being planned out here in the United States as well, but people are blind to it. You know, it starts out as a couple roads being changed, and people don't notice it at first, but then all of a sudden they start to realize, hey, how come I'm not able to leave the town now? And that's how it's going to work, because they don't want to tell you exactly what it is. They want to keep you as blind for as long as they possibly can before it's too late. And then you don't have a chance to fight back anymore. Wake up before it's too late. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.